All right, real quick. So Mega Evolution has been out for a week. Obviously, booster boxes are really annoying as far as price point goes, and we are expecting a restock of Mega Evolution. That second wave is going to come out. I don't know if it's really going to impact the price too much. Obviously, it does mean more opportunities. If you know of any stores that do sell at MSRP or at least closer to MSRP, opportunities are already always a good thing. Will it impact the secondary market price? Probably not, which is going to frustrate a lot of people. But if you do, have people around you who can help you find stuff at a good local game store or something like that that's going to stick to MSRP. At least there's more opportunities. That's what's important. But in today's video, we're going to talk about the singles. And real quick, I do want you guys to comment down below with what you think was the most gained single of Mega Evolution, the single from Mega Evolution that gained the most from a percentage standpoint over its first week. And then also comment below what you think is the Mega Evolution single which lost the most value from a percentage standpoint. It's interesting, and I'll give you a hint. It is not the Marshadow that gained the highest percentage, which is very, very interesting to look at. It's been all over the place. Obviously, pull rates have impacted things a lot, and that's why you need to be really, really careful with Mega Evolution. If you haven't really opened up anything and you haven't bought any singles yet, I think that's a good thing. I think it's okay to be patient with this set. It seems to be taking a lot longer for singles to really fall apart on the secondary market than what we've experienced in the past. A lot of times, it's not really until the next couple of sets have come out. So like Journey Together, for example, didn't really fall apart until Black Bolt and White Flare came out. Surging Sparks didn't really fall apart until Journey Together came out. Destined Rival still hasn't really fallen apart. It might not ever, but it might not until Phantasmal Flames comes apart. It really just depends on where the attention is and the demand is in the hobby, and then you start seeing this race to the bottom happen on TCG Player. So while we do have a lot of price changes when it comes to the first week of Mega Evolution singles, and you do have some that are fairly substantial from either growing or like falling apart, it's just so volatile right now. So you want to be really careful when it comes to your buying habits and your spending your collection dollars. Obviously, do what's best for you and be very careful out there, because last thing you want is get frustrated overspending the hobby. Like right now, it's very easy to do that, obviously. So just be careful out there. But we're going to look at the price changes. We do this every single set release. We go in and we screenshot opening day what the prices look like on TCG Player, and that's important because opening day, in a few hours after opening day has started, you can't sell on TCG Player unless you're an authorized pre-order store. So a pre-release store is the only store that can sell on TCG Player. That's why it's tough to gauge market pricing on new sets early before a set releases, because there's only like 3% of stores that are on TCG Player that can sell. So that market price can get manipulated super easily, really, really quick. And then all of a sudden you have this established market price that everybody goes off of that's like super expensive. But then once TCG Player opens up the floodgates opening day, then anybody can sell on TCG Player. And like you can, I can, anybody can. So then you have a market price that gets established quickly. That's oftentimes different than what you see as far as like an inflated market price is the day before. So we look at that and then we compare the prices to where they are a week later. This is a little bit early because I'm recording this video on a Wednesday, so it's a day earlier than we typically look at the data, but some of it is pretty interesting to at least talk about. So let's go take a look. Really quick before we jump into the actual data, I do want to remind everybody we are giving away an entire master set of Mega Evolution. Every common, every uncommon, every reverse holo, every special illustration rare, all those mega hyper rares, the 2 gold cards, basically anything you can pull from a Mega Evolution booster pack, we're going to put in this binder. The etch work was done by the Unlucky Collector. Make sure to give him a follow on Instagram. He does the etch work for every single master set that we give away. We give away a master set every set release as just, a fun thing to do for the community. If you want to win this, all you got to do is just make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. So scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and then there's a video you need to leave a like and a comment on. I'm going to put the thumbnail image of that video right up here, and then I'll link it in the description as well, so it's easily accessible. But you just want to leave a like and a comment on that video. Boom, you are entered. We're going to announce the winner on Friday, October 17th, which is 3 weeks after release day. I got to fill this bad boy up at Card Party this weekend. Hopefully I'll get every single card. It's going to get expensive, but that's okay. It's no big deal. So hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment, and then we'll give it away on Friday, October 16th. Good luck. So like I said, we do this every single set release, and I did pull the information a little bit later. I think it was like noon Central Time when I pulled all of this data, and there were still some sales that hadn't happened. So like the gold Mega Lucario EX, and there's a lot of talk about pull rates for these kind of embossed feeling Mega Hyper Rares. They are super cool. Like, I love them, but the pull rates on them are absolutely atrocious. Like, you are looking at, no joke, like 1 out of, it seems like 1,200 packs in order to pull one. That might be a little bit high, but again, I know TCG Player just put out their pull rate data, and I talked about this in my pull rate video, which I released last week. If you have something this difficult to pull, the sample size, and this is like 1,200 could be exact on, like it really could be. The sample size that you need for a rarity that's that difficult to pull needs to be obscene. Like, you're looking at like 25,000 packs. Like, I just want to make sure everybody understands that. So right now it's kind of guesswork when it comes to how difficult these gold cards really are to pull. It could be 800, it could be 900, but if you don't have a really strong sample size, it's easier with special illustration rares to know that it's like 1 out of every 2 booster boxes. Illustration rares, because they appear more frequently. But when you're only opening, you know, even if you're opening 5,000 packs and you're only pulling 4 of these gold cards, like that skews the data like 4 or 5. You could get lucky, you could pull 6. Like, it skews the data so much, which is why you want consistency. I'm not going to get into it too much, but really, like 25,000 packs is going to give you a much better understanding of what pull rates look like actually for the Mega Lucario and the Mega Gardevoir as far as those gold cards are. And then obviously it'll be interesting to see what happens with Phantasma Flames. I don't know, they've made changes to pull rates before, but very, very difficult. And if we look at the price point, so Mega Gardevoir hadn't even had an established market price at like noon on Friday, which was opening day for selling on TCG Player. So Mega Lucario did, right? The lowest one listed at this time was $500, but the market price that was established was $586. So it did fall a little bit, but then it started growing back. Now it's sitting at $561.07, so only about a 4% change week over week. And this is going to go up. The lowest one that was listed on TCG Player as I was putting together this information was like $600. So the new market price that's going to be established is probably going to be north of $600 because they are getting replaced so infrequently on the secondary market. It's also important to remember that with booster boxes continuously climbing in price and now hitting a point where booster boxes are like $330, $340 and continuing to climb, the likelihood of people opening up their booster box to replace these singles on the secondary market keeps going down and down and down because people are like, well, I don't want to open up this box if I only have, you know, a 1 out of 1,200 chance of pulling this mega. Like, that just doesn't seem worth it then. So a lot of people are making decisions not to open up their Mega Evolution product, which is probably not the way it's supposed to be, especially for Pokemon. So a little frustrating. The secondary market is very volatile right now. It's very, very dangerous. And that's just something to keep in mind as you move forward with your buying decisions. So I think illustration rares, for the most part, like half of them are fine to look at right now. Some of obviously the commons and commons, like full art trainers, some things like that, not too bad to pick up right now. But when it comes to Mega Evolution buying singles, you're probably going to want to wait a little bit. Stick to regular arts. Regular art megas, for the most part, are really inexpensive. But yeah, it's a little weird right now. The special illustration rare Mega Gardevoir, you can see, started out at $530. It's dropped over 43%, so 43.5%. Special illustration is a little bit easier to pull in the set than I think people thought. It didn't really change from Scarlet and Violet blocks, so it's still about 1 out of every 2 booster boxes. So this one's down about 43.5%, currently sitting at $299.45. The Mega Lucario dropped less. This one started out a lot cheaper though. It started out at $394.98. It's down to $278.76. So the third most expensive card in the set, down about 29%. So not too bad percentage-wise as far as a drop goes, but it didn't start out as high as that Mega Gardevoir. The Mega Latias, also above $200. We saw this with Surging Sparks. We saw a lot of cards that started out super expensive, and then over time, as that secondary market really started opening up, remember, Mega Evolution was in a lot of products, but it's going to be in a lot more products in the upcoming months. There's a lot of products that get released around Christmas time, around the holiday season, that are going to have Mega Evolution booster packs in it. There's going to be a lot more cards that hit the secondary market, so patience is extremely important. I know it's difficult because you see so many of these cards and you're like, oh, I want that card. You're still going to want it in a few months, but hopefully it'll be half the cost in a few months than what it is now. $343.77 is where this Mega Latia started. It's dropped about 40% over the past week, so it's sitting at $205.14. The Mega Venusaur is the first card we're looking at that grew. For the most part, it stayed relatively flat, but it's up about 3% over the first week. Started out at $218.20, now sitting at $224.71. Very cool looking card. The Lily's Determination This is the first special illustration rare trainer we've had in a very long time that is above $100, and it's well above $100. The last one I think we had early in the gate was like the Perrin and the Carmine, maybe. That was it, out of Twilight Masquerade, but they fell quickly, and I don't think we've had any since then. So the Lily's Determination currently sitting at $174.61. It's about a 19% drop from where it was opening day when it was at $215.65. Usually, historically, you're seeing 40 to 50% price drops on a lot of these singles opening weekend, and that just goes to show you that there is not as much product being opened up now and being sold on the secondary market as what there used to be. A lot of people who are getting product at MSRP are excited and opening up the singles, opening up the booster boxes for their singles, and then they're keeping those for their collection rather than listing them, which is why these price swings are really all over the place. The Mega Kangaskhan EX, another card, the last special illustration rare that we have that's over $100. I think this is the last card in the set that's worth over $100. So you've got 7 cards, 8 cards if you include the Mega Gardevoir. Started out at $185. It has dropped substantially, so it's down about 45%, currently sitting at $101.16. The Acerola's Mischief, this one started out a little bit cheaper, so $86.24. It's lost a little bit of value, down about 30% in its first week, so it's currently sitting at $60.13. Lieutenant Surge's Bargain got hit really hard, so this one's down over 51% opening week. It started out at $75. It seems like not a whole lot of people really love it. I think it's pretty cool looking. $36.58 is where it's currently sitting. I mean, look at him. He's just working out. Like, it's just a cool looking card. I don't know. The illustration rare Ivysaur. These are cool. Like, these connect together. The Bulbasaur, the Ivysaur, and the special illustration rare Venusaur. All very cool looking cards. The Bulbasaur started out at $56.54. It's down about 35.5%. So it's sitting at $36.38. Now, it's important to remember that as far as set size go, the amount of illustration rares in this set, in Mega Evolution, is 22, which is very similar to what we saw with Twilight Masquerade, very similar to what we saw with Surging Sparks. So Surging Sparks, there was 23, Twilight Masquerade, there was 21, Mega Evolution, there's 22. The difference is, if you look at the price points of those illustration rares and where they kind of settled at, the difference is these are easier to pull. These appear more frequently. This is like 1 out of every 8 packs, every 9 packs, as opposed to the illustration rares in the Scarlet and Violet block, which were 1 out of every 12 packs. So it's very important when you're looking at even some of the top chase illustration rares like the Ivysaur and the Bulbasaur to know that, hey, these appear more frequently than, you know, the Eevee from Twilight Masquerade or the Latios from Surging Sparks. You're going to find these more frequently. So be very careful. Like, use that mentality when it comes to spending your collection dollars, because I think it's very, very important. So the Ivysaur has fallen about 35.5%. Bulbasaur has dropped about 34%. And this is the non-stamped version. Remember, there's 2 different versions. If you buy an enhanced booster box, you get the stamped version. This is the one you can pull out of a booster pack. So this is the non-stamped version, which is in the set, much like what we saw with the Ends Reshiram from Journey Together. So started out at $43.99. It's down about 34% to $28.93. The Lily's Determination is very interesting to me. Be very careful with this card. $39.27 is where it started out at. This is just the full art variant, the ultra rare variant, not the special illustration. It's only down 2.5% to $38.29. Yes, it's extremely playable, extremely playable. There's a lot of potential with Lily's Determination, but we have not seen a full art supporter card hit $38 for a very long time. Even the Iono from Paldea Evolved started out expensive, don't get me wrong, but fell as more print runs came out and continued to fall, I mean, down to like $12, $13. So $38.29 seems extremely high for this. Mega Lucario EX, this one dropped about 18.5% opening week. It started out at $36.37. It's dropped down to $29.67. The Marshadow has garnered a lot of attention in the first week, obviously because of the buyouts and things like that. It's got the Pikachu, obviously, on the card. We knew that from Mega Brave and Mega Symphonio's release when this card, you know, appeared in Japan, and you can buy it there for like $4. So there are cheaper alternatives to all these cards if you're just looking to collect the artwork, which is really cool. Started out at $34.76. It's up to $83.43. That's actually down from where it got manipulated to, but you're still looking at about 140% growth. Yes, it's a very cool card. Yes, it's the same artist who designed the Marshadow and Cosmic Eclipse. Very cool looking artwork, just different viewpoints in the forest, which is super cool. I love the stories. We've talked about that before. The stories these cards tell are like super important and really, really cool. But again, it's an illustration rare. An illustration rare that appears much more frequently than name your favorite illustration rare from the Scarlet and Violet block. So easier to pull, 140%, $83.43. Be careful. Yes, it probably will continue to come down. Wally's Compassion, $34.74. This is the cheapest special illustration rare in the set. It's dropped about 22% opening week, so down to $27.02. The Mega Gardevoir EX Full Art. Be careful with the full arts. We talked about this before. That Team Rocket's Mewtwo. We talked about the Lily's Clefairy. Full arts appear more frequently than they used to. $27.19 is where this started at. It's currently at $15.42. I don't know how playable Mega Gardevoir will be. It should be pretty good, but for how long? Once Gardevoir EX rotates, will Mega Gardevoir be able to be a deck on its own? I don't know. 43% is what it's dropped opening week, so it's down to $15.42. The Vulpix is a super cool card, probably my favorite illustration rare in the Mega Evolution block. $22.83 is where it started. It's up about 37% opening week, so it's currently sitting at $31.22. The Mega Absol EX has dropped 61%, so very strong drop on this one. Not the strongest, but very strong. $21.86 is where it started opening day. It's currently down to $8.46. The Mega Venusaur EX Full Art is up 17.5%, so it started at $20.74. Now it's at $24.38. These Full Art item cards are absolutely amazing, and I am so happy that Pokemon did this. This is Night Stretcher, super competitive. You've also got Air Balloon, which is super competitive, Rare Candy, which is super competitive, and now you've got Full Art variants, and they're relatively inexpensive too, which goes a long way for competitive players who want to use some of these more Full Art items to kind of search their deck and speed up consistency and things like that. It's a great thing that Pokemon did. I love it. $20.68 is where this started at. It's down to $10.76. It's dropped about 48% opening week. The Mega Kangaskhan has taken a big hit. $19.70 is where it started. Now it's down to $7.52. So you're looking at about a 62% drop on that one. The Steelix illustration, another really cool one. This one started at $16.18. It's up about 69.5%. So strong growth on this one. $27.41 is where it's currently sitting. The Shuckle illustration rare went from $13.33 down to $9.97, so that one dropped about 25%. The Inteleon had a much more normalized drop. It's currently sitting at $5.90, which is about 54.25% down from where it was last week when it was at $12.90. The Mega Latias EX started at $12.54. This one's up a little bit. Very cool looking card, up about 19.78%, so it's sitting at $15.02. And the Lieutenant Surge's Bargain wins the award for the biggest drop opening week, currently sitting at $3.62. So it started at $12.50, which is still relatively inexpensive for opening day, and now it's dropped 71%. So it's down about 71.04. That is the card from Mega Evolution that has dropped the furthest. Houndstone illustration rare was at $12.34 opening week. It's lost about half of its value, down to $6. The Executor, another cool looking card, $12.28 is where it's currently sitting. $8.99 is where it's currently sitting. $12.28 is where it was. So it's down about 26.79%. The Mega Mawile has dropped 46% from $12.09 down to $6.50. Mega Manectric, Mega Man, which is super cool. I loved playing Mega Man during the Phantom Forces era. $11.87 down to $6.72. I don't know if this one will be as competitive, but still really cool looking card. 43.39% drop on that one. The Stuffle illustration rare, $11.86 is where it was opening day. It's down to $7.54. That's a 36% drop, 36.5%. The Premium Power Pro, this Full Art item card started at $11.30. It's only down about 28%, so not too bad of a drop on that one. Currently sitting at $8.14. The Delibird, which is super cool. I love Delibird. This illustration rare looks really, really cool. I just like the way it looks. It looks like they're all getting ready for Christmas. I don't know why. It's down about 50% to $5.25. It was at $10.55 last week. The Litleo opened at $10.31. It's lost about 51.5%, down to $4.99. Another cool looking illustration rare, but again, easier to pull. Buddy Poffin, another super playable Full Art trainer card, which is super hype. $9.96. It's only lost about 9%. So relatively flat opening week. It's sitting at $9.06. Air Balloon, super competitive. $9.82 is where it started. Down about 24.64% to $7.40. Mega Abomasnow is currently at $5.02. That's a 48% drop from where it was last week at $9.68. The Acerola's Mischief, the Full Art version, another cool looking card. I really like the background. I wonder if Grush is up there. It's super cool. $9.16 is where it's sitting. Market price on it last week, $4.41 is where it is right now. So it's dropped about 51.86%. The Mega Camera Up EX started at $8.96. Now it's down to $3.93. Percent change on that one is 56.14%. So kind of a big drop on that one. Rare Candies at $7.23. That dropped about 14% from $8.44. The Fighting Gong full art trainer card is up 16.4 or 16.04%. So it's sitting at $9.33. It opened up at $8.04. Illustration Rare Spiritomb is currently at $5.13. Started out at $6.83. So that's a 24.89% drop. And here's the biggest gainer of the week. This one got bought out. This one got manipulated as well. This is Gumshoes because of some crazy meme stuff around it. Started out at $6.76. It's currently sitting at $32.41. So your big winner for the week is this one, up about 379.44%, which is absolutely crazy. Mystery Garden, the full art stadium card, started out at $6.30. It's currently at $6.48, so relatively flat, up a few percentage points opening week. The Spiro Illustration Rare, $5.96 is where it started. It's up about 16.5% to $6.94. The Ninjask Illustration Rare went from $5.78 to $6.57, so that's about a 13.67% jump. Wally's Compassion Full Art started at $5.69. It's currently at $3.47, so that lost about 39%. The Mega Signal went from $5.19 down to $3.86. That's about a 25.5% drop. And then the last six that we're gonna look at. Shininja went from $4.57 to $5.87, so that one jumped over 28%. The Mega Lucario EX, so this one has probably the most potential when it comes to competitive play, but we'll see. Relatively flat opening week, so it started at $4.38, now it's at $4.34, so really flat opening week. Garganical started at $4.32, lost about half of its value, so it's down 44%, down to $2.41. So there are some cheaper illustration rares as well, like this Snoover right here, which dropped 22% from $4.31 down to $3.36. The Helioptile went up from $4.16 to $5.67, so that's 36% growth. And then the Shroodle, which is super cool. I love this Shroodle. He's like drawn all over the place in the forest. $3.93 to $3.74, so only about a 5% change on this one. So some weird stuff going on, some normal stuff going on. It's really all over the place, but it's important to remember illustration rares in this set are easier to pull than what we've experienced before. So if you see manipulation, if you see weird things, if some of these seem like they're overpriced to you, they probably are. So be patient, don't go crazy. It may take multiple weeks here because the market is just way different than where it was a year ago, you know, when things would drop opening weekend, and then a week after release you'd see all these price crashes happen. It might take a little bit longer. So be patient, play the long game, set a budget. I think that's super important. So I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please hit that subscribe button down below, leave a like, leave a comment. It goes a really long way for the algorithm, but ultimately thank you just for being here. I love you guys. We'll be back on Sunday with another video. Till next time, peace.